Welcome into the Analyst in the Armchair, an NFL podcast where one host is obsessed with stats and spreadsheets, and the other just really loves yelling at the TV on game day and has plenty of opinions. Together, Michelle and Nycole dive into player news, weekly matchups, and all the storylines you'll be talking about with your friends. Whether you're a hardcore or casual football fan, they've got something for you.
Welcome into the Analyst and the Armchair. I'm the Analyst. I'm Michelle. This is Nycole. She is the Armchair part of the show. And we have made it through almost all the weeks of the regular season in 2025. The fastest season of my life, maybe.
So fast.
Yeah. Week 18. There's not a lot of huge games this week because it's like the NFL really never needed to go to 18 games or 17 games, 18 weeks. But they did it. And now we have like 3 big important games and maybe a 4th that we'll get into. But yeah, we're going to give you, we're going to talk through greatly about those huge games this week, including you're wearing the 49ers today, but my 49ers, I'm wearing the Texans today.
That's right.
We kind of switched it up. But we'll be talking about all the playoff teams, all the big games, and then give you the winners for all the games to make sure that we get through this contest because we're heading into the last week with me up by 2 games.
Yep.
So you need to make up a little bit.
I know.
So you don't have to go run that 10K.
That's right.
And Aaron Rodgers Steelers jersey.
Right. Yeah. That would be embarrassing for multiple reasons.
Yeah. Do you want to announce your exciting news from?
Of course I do.
Okay.
Of course I do. Although I want to make you say it out loud on
Okay.
camera.
Okay.
But we finished our fantasy league, obviously. And guess who came in at number 1? 2 years in a row, baby. Tell them how much I won by. Just tell them.
She only won by 0.25 points.
Insane. I was screaming at Matthew Stafford to not get one more pass completion. And he didn't. So thank you, Matthew Stafford.
It was a crazy ending. And yes, she's been in my league 2 years and now she's won. 2 years.
Times.
I'm handling it fine.
She's very fine. She said to me a few weeks back, if you win this, I'm going to blow up the league. I'm going to blow up the league. And so here we are. So TBD if she blows up the league.
blow up the league.
Yeah.
All right.
So congrats to me.
Congratulations to you. Bow down to the queen. All right. We have a lot of coaches heading into week 18 with a fear that they could lose their job or, a lot of these coaches have guaranteed pay anyway. So maybe they're not fearing it too much, but the Raiders could be moving on from Pete Carroll. I feel like that's a definite. Why would you keep
Feels
him?
like they need to move on from a lot over there in that organization.
Yeah, they have a lot to change. I mean, they had a lot of hope coming into this year with trading for Geno Smith and adding Ashton Genty and having Brock Bowers and, adding Pete Carroll. It did not work whatsoever. No. It was a disaster of experiment is what I meant to say. Mm-hmm. And
it was both.
They need to change it all again.
Yeah.
Cardinals should be moving on from Jonathan Gannon. I mean, he has a 15-35 record.
Not great.
No.
And
they need to move on from him.
It's time.
It will be really interesting to see if the Browns officially and finally move on from Kevin Stefanski. I do think overall he's probably a solid coach, but he's had terrible quarterbacks but also at the same time, you got to do better. You got to find the right players. You got to hire the right coaches, and it just doesn't seem to be happening.
Well, and it's one of those organizations that it's like, is it the coach?
Yeah.
Is it the GM? Is it everybody? Right. So they've been bad for a very, very long time, as my dad has led me to grow up and know. So yeah, I think there's a lot that can be questioned in Cleveland.
Yeah. I mean, when you have like 3 wins every year, you gotta go. I will be interested to see if Falcons keep Raheem Morris after they've really come along the last few weeks, but what took you so long? Sure. And it does seem like they're playing for him and playing for the team. So maybe he ends up keeping it. I do think Zach Taylor should lose his job, but that's just me for the Bengals.
I don't know about that one. I feel like that's one of those on the fence for me because, your starting quarterback goes out with an injury for most of the season. Higgins was in and out.
But when you can't win a game without Joe Burrow, that's saying something.
But who do they have on defense? Like, is that on him? There's a lot of questions there.
The 49ers have really nobody on defense, and they won with Mac Jones.
You're very right.
Yeah.
They also have Saleh as their defensive coordinator. So, again, some question marks there for me.
And then I do think the loser of the loser of the Steelers and the Ravens, the long-term head coach could be in a little trouble, whether it's John Harbaugh and it's the Ravens that lose, or if it's Mike Tomlin and the Steelers that lose, because whichever of those coaches lose this week, their team is out of the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, both of these coaches have been disappointing.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Yeah.
I mean, even the fans were calling for it a few weeks ago in Pittsburgh, like fire Tomlin. And it's like, maybe it is time to look elsewhere. There are greener pastures.
I believe in the Ravens management to make the move before the Steelers management was. I think I'm going to be stuck with Mike Tomlin until I'm in a nursing home at the age of 80 and he's 110 out there still kicking it. But if they don't make the playoffs, it's time for Mike Tomlin to go. Even if they do, I think they probably get destroyed in the wild card and he still should go, but we'll see.
I mean, let me ask you real quick as a fan, would you rather have a losing record for a few years and then go to the playoffs, start making the playoffs? Or would you rather be this mediocre, we barely make the playoffs, it comes down to week 17, 18, and then we get destroyed?
Yeah. No, I hate being right in the middle and mediocre.
Yeah. I agree with you.
1000%. Now, a couple teams are going into week 18 while resting players for the playoffs, and that's the Chargers. They're going to sit their starters versus the Broncos. And that means the Broncos are very likely to be the number 1 seed in the AFC then, because all they have to do is beat the Chargers and they're the number 1 seed. And now the Chargers are kind of laying down, which I'm a little shocked by because it's a divisional opponent, but the Chargers really don't have much to play for. So also you want to make sure everyone's healthy, and Justin Herbert's dealing with the injury still. So
sure. Well, and coming off that big loss in against Houston, I'd want to sit down and not think about it for a while too.
Yeah.
So
true. The Texans did destroy them. It was pretty. And now Trey Lance will start for the Chargers. So maybe he can do something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. I mean, I think that just gives Denver obviously the advantage. Play your starters, the first quarter if you want. And then, doesn't, matter really. If they score some points, then they can go sit down too. So
sure. They're up big at half. And Eagles, I feel like, are the second team that are most likely to rest some starters. They can move from 3 to 2 seed in the NFC, but they would need the Bears to lose. And then it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if I would want to do that with the way that this team is right now. They're so, I don't feel good about the Eagles going into the playoffs.
No,
I think they could potentially lose.
Even though they just they just won in Buffalo.
I don't think it matters.
Okay.
Yeah. Their defense looked like trash.
No, their offense looks like trash. Their defense
I think
is so good.
Both are not good.
They only allowed the Bills to score 12 points.
Yeah, but also Josh Allen looked really bad. So,
but I would think that's the Eagles making him look bad. I don't. The Eagles' defense is the least of my worries. It's their offense.
Huh. I feel differently.
Okay. Now the Bills' defense has a lot of my worries, but we'll get into all that because not only are we going to give our game picks here, but we're also going to talk about all the playoff teams and our feelings and how confident we are in these teams heading into the playoffs. Let's get into it right now.
Between the 20s.
We have one of the most exciting games, definitely the season. I feel like it should be, but I cannot think of a game that I'm more excited to watch than this one in the regular season. And it's the Seahawks against the 49ers on Sunday Night Football. Winner takes it all. I mean, not only do they get the NFC West title, but they're also the number 1 seed in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. They get the bye. The playoffs run through them in their hometown. And then if they lose, you're then a wild card team. Mm-hmm. And not only do you not get to bye, you have to go on the road in the wild card.
Major
That's
implications
crazy.
Here.
Yeah. So it's a crazy difference here. And these two teams, I feel like, have their weaknesses. It's like a strength versus weakness type of game.
Agreed.
Where the Seahawks right now are so good on defense, while the 49ers defense is atrocious. But the 49ers offense is on absolute fire, while the Seahawks have definitely cooled off on offense. And Sam Darnold has been struggling with turnovers and all of that. So it's going to be such a good game.
I sure hope so. I mean, it's going to come down to, can Sam Darnold not turn the ball over, which I feel like the 49ers, as of recently, have been making more teams make a little more mistakes in that area. They by no means are great at the interception, but there were so many plays the last few games where we're like, get the butt,
they just have to catch it.
And they just couldn't get it, right? So I'd like to see them continue that even if you don't get the ball, it feels so good and ramps your defense up so much to even get those plays. So I think if they can do that, it'd be a really good day for them. And like you said, as long as this offense can keep firing on all cylinders like they are, I think they'll be good to go. The question mark is George Kittle. I don't know if there's any.
It sounds like he's going to play.
Okay, well, good for him. I'm very mad at George Kittle because he could have played last week and he didn't.
Jake Tonjes did just fine.
He did just fine, which I'm very thankful for, but I'm still mad.
Kittle could have gone out there all gimpy and not been able to do much, and you would have lost your fantasy league. So maybe thank him.
You don't know that. So anyway, I'd like to see him on the field. I'd like to see Pearsall, some of these guys that have been in and out all season, go out there and play 49ers football. Brock Purdy has been amazing the last few weeks. I'd love for him to continue that in this game.
Yeah, so the 49ers have averaged the most points per game over their 6-game win streak. So both the Seahawks and 49ers are on a 6-game win streak. 49ers average the most points per game during that span. The Seahawks have allowed the fewest points per game over that span.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, the Seahawks need that. They need their defense to do this, because I know I'm a Sam Darnold hater, but since week 11, and they've won all their games since then, Sam Darnold has 8 total touchdowns to 10 giveaways.
Yeah.
2 more giveaways than touchdowns.
Yeah.
He is not performing well. And I don't care if you say they're winning. They're not going to win in the playoffs. Like, this is what happened to him at the end of last year. So what's super, super weird is that Sam Darnold is heading into a game just like last year, where his team is going up against a divisional opponent, and the winner takes it all, the first seed in the conference and the title for the division, and the team that loses goes to the number 5 seed. So the Vikings did that with the Lions last year, and Sam Darnold sucked.
Yeah, he was terrible.
And the Vikings lost the game. They had to go be the number 5 seed, go on the road, they lose. And it's not like the Lions did any better in the playoffs either, but still. So Sam Darnold's in the same situation that he's in again this year.
Yeah.
There's only been 4. This will be the 4th game ever where a team is facing in the last week of the season for the number 1 seed in a conference.
It's super fun.
And Sam Darnold has now been part of 2 of those in back-to-back years. And there's only been 2 ever prior to that.
That's very interesting. And it goes to, it's a question for, is it because of Sam Darnold, or is that just one of those random stats that doesn't make any sense?
It has to just be random, because the first time this happened before last year, it was 1993 and then 1979 the year prior. And now it's just happened in back-to-back years.
That is odd.
Yeah.
But Sam Darnold was in 2 of the 4. So some people would say it means something about him.
Well, he sucked last time. Let's see if he can be better this time. I will say one more thing about the 49ers. Each of the last 6 or 7 times, let me count here, 7 times that they've been to the playoffs, they have at least made the NFC Championship.
Ooh, that's fun.
I know.
I love that for you.
I know.
Yeah. And me in the Brock Purdy jersey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you're going to be going all in on the 49ers
100%.
Until they face the Texans in the Super Bowl.
That's exactly right. And it's what I hope.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Well, hold on. The Vegas does have the 49ers as the underdogs at home.
Yeah.
They have them 1.5-point underdogs at home.
And I wonder if that's just because Seattle fans are travel well and but there were so many 49ers fans at that Houston game. So I don't know.
It's not but no one's going to take over San Francisco.
Yeah, that's odd. By how much?
1.5 points.
Oh. Yeah. I don't know why.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very much 50-50.
100%.
Yeah.
But I guess they can't pick 50-50, right? So
I guess
they got to pick somebody.
But if it's very much 50-50, you would think it'd go to the home team as a favorite.
Sure.
Whatever. Whatever. Steelers versus the Ravens. Second best game of the week. And I'm going to be dying during this game. There's no reason for me to have to be nervous as a Steelers fan, because they should have just beat the 3-12 Browns. That's all they had to do, but they couldn't score any points whatsoever, because Aaron Rodgers was terrible. And I mean, just everything was terrible. Now, it was very predictable they were going to lose last week. I did not pick it, but I did say on the podcast they're going to lose.
You convinced me.
Yeah. Now Tomlin is back to the little, hot seat, and the media calling for him and, making noise again. So he has a chance to win this game. It's at home in Pittsburgh. The Ravens may or may not have Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm picking the Steelers just because that's who I want to root for. You're picking the Ravens.
I am, and it's only because, I mean, how bad the Steelers defense was last week. They let everybody and their mother on the Browns get the ball in the middle of the field.
Yeah, they didn't put up many points, but they just kept moving the ball.
They kept moving the ball, and the problem is the Ravens can do the same thing to them that happened to them last week against the Browns. The Ravens relied heavily on Derrick Henry last week. He had a monster game. I feel like he was kind of making up for like 2 games that he was really terrible in. Yeah. He's like, I'll just have a double game this game, right? But the thing about the Browns is the Steelers held them to like 78 rushing yards. It was embarrassing, quite frankly. The problem is that the Browns have no running game because Judkins got hurt, and Samson, right, is their second guy, right? Sanders, yes. So like the problem is you're going against Derrick Henry, and so I just think like, man, all the momentum is with Baltimore, I think, for this game, and it's in Baltimore. So
no, it's in Pittsburgh.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I have that.
I wrote it
the other way.
backwards.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. So anyway, I just think this is an uphill battle for the Steelers. I could see Aaron Rodgers going out there, getting super frustrated, then making really silly mistakes and giving the Ravens a chance.
If they had DK Metcalf, I think they would have won last week. It's just Aaron Rodgers just refused to go to anyone else besides MVS. And
not to mention Washington's injury.
Yeah, Darnell Washington being out is going to be huge. He broke his forearm. I don't know if there's enough weapons here. So if Lamar is out there and he's healthy and he's able to get it done, I could see the Ravens winning. But the Ravens are favorites, 3.5-point favorites on the road. I don't know. This is one of those games the Steelers normally show up. People are going to pick the Ravens. Steelers show up and they could win.
I just feel like, how long is that going to last?
Yeah. The Ravens get in the playoffs, though, then all of a sudden, they're not a team that I would be like, I would want my favorite team to go face, because Lamar Jackson can beat anyone. I know this year, like, it hasn't been the same, but like, there's only going to be 2 elite quarterbacks in the playoffs, in the AFC playoffs this year. And that's going to be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. I would not want to have to go face them.
If I was thinking a different team, but okay. Yeah.
Who's elite?
That's fair.
Drake May.
Okay, elite may be dramatic. I mean, he's a baby, in the
I
league,
guess some people might say Herbert. Like elite, where they just like they can take over games and completely win you games. That's Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson to me.
Yeah, they can also lose you games, though. I just like you run and you live or die by your quarterback. Well, that's just scary to me. I wouldn't want a franchise where my quarterback was just the man and he had to be the man. How'd that work out for the Chiefs this year? Not very well.
It didn't, but it's worked out very well for them in all the other years.
Fair.
Yeah. Now, Aaron Rodgers, with and without DK Metcalf, his numbers are brutal. He has 0 touchdowns on the year without him on the field. He has a 56 completion percentage, 4.7 yards per pass attempt, and a 69 passer rating.
Yikes.
Yeah.
0 touchdowns is bad.
It doesn't say how many dropbacks he has without him, but it's not just the games DK's missed, right? It's not just last week. It's anytime he's off the field. So kind of worrisome.
Well, it'll be interesting too, because Aaron Rodgers looked so worried to get a sack last week. And I wonder how much that impacted the offense. Like against the Browns anyway, you're going to try to get the ball out really quick, right? Like that's just how you play the Browns. But I wonder how much of that really affected his accuracy with his throws and things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's garbage, so I think probably not that much. But that could be an argument to be made about the game last week.
I think he was worried about getting sacked from anybody because he didn't know who it was. Like,
sure.
There was one time he got sacked and he like looked and he looked back. He was like, "Oh, it wasn't Garrett."
Right.
And so it's like, okay, it's in your head a little too much. Like, I didn't want Garrett to break the record either. But
well, of course. But like, don't be that petty that you lose your team the game.
And Garrett even said it afterwards. He was like, clearly they were more worried about me breaking the record than winning the game.
Sure. And as somebody that like appreciates competition, I love that. But also, like, you went out and got a loss for your team. Like, was it worth it?
Yeah, you might lose the playoffs because you didn't want him to break the record.
Right. Like nobody's gonna. Well, in my opinion, nobody's gonna remember who he got it against.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that you didn't make the playoffs or your team, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I literally don't remember who TJ Watt got it against.
exactly.
I'm just excited he got
That's
the record.
exactly the point.
Also, Myles Garrett, you get the record now, and you have a little asterisk to your name because the two others that have done it did it in 16 games. All right, and
That's
you're gonna do it
right,
in
Myles.
17.
Yeah.
Loser. Panthers versus the Buccaneers. You know what? I very much wish I would have just went with the Panthers. So I'm gonna stick with the Buccaneers because I'm not no traitor.
Okay.
I'm not no traitor.
That's
Yeah.
good for Texas.
Okay. But the Buccaneers, I mean, have now lost 7 of their last 8 games. And not being able to beat the Dolphins or the Panthers or the Falcons or they just needed to win one of those games to be in such a better position. One of those games over the last 4 weeks. Saints, Falcons, Panthers, Dolphins.
Yep.
And you still couldn't do it. There's something off with this team. And Baker is, I don't think Baker's playing all that bad, but there's something off with his connection with some players. The defense can't stop anything. Mm-hmm. The running game can't get going. I think Todd Bowles is a very bad head coach. And it's not working out. But the Panthers, on the other hand, they did just beat the Buccaneers by 3 points a couple weeks ago. Sure, I can't trust Bryce Young. So I'm going to go with the quarterback I trust more in Baker than Bryce, even though the Panthers defense has really been playing pretty well.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about this matchup this week is you've already played each other not only a couple weeks ago, right? The Bucs are coming in totally distraught, right? But that's the emphasis there for Carolina's defense is you have to stop the run early and force Baker to make quick decisions. I think that's where they could have the edge here. The biggest factor, though, for the Panthers is going to be Bryce Young and how he comes out. He had 2 touchdown passes the last time that they played in week 16, but he's got to figure out how to add to the pass game and without turning the ball over, because in that game against them, they relied heavily on the run.
Yeah. Come on, Baker. Just have a Baker game. I need you to win. The issue is, even if they win, they still might not make the playoffs because they need the Falcons to lose now.
Right.
So the Panthers are in as long as they just win, or the Panthers are also in if the Falcons win against the Saints in week 18. So we could watch this game on Saturday and the Buccaneers could win. And that doesn't mean anything yet. They still, I mean, the Falcons have to lose against the Saints in week 18, which with the way the Falcons have been playing.
And the Saints, really.
I put that game on here as one of the most important games of the week because it really is, because that's going to determine a playoff team. And obviously not for the Saints or Falcons. They're both eliminated. But if the Saints win, then the Buccaneers have a chance to get in. If the Falcons win, then it's automatically the Panthers who get in, even if the Panthers lose.
Well, and what's been fun to watch the Falcons the last couple weeks is that they have a team that you're not playing for anything. You could just hang out, don't go get hit, don't go get hurt, right? But they've come out in these last few weeks and played ball. And I know their season didn't go how they wanted it to, but just to see the heart of these guys, I know nobody talks about that.
Well, you just feed Bijan Robinson and you're good. Maybe you should have done that all year.
But it was so nice. Even that game last night, even though I hated it because I was playing against Bijan, right? But I mean, the level of just not courage, that's not the right word, but integrity, I think, is the best word, because Kirk Cousins comes out, which he's been playing pretty well. I mean, he's been decent as far as Michael Penix Jr. being gone. But I mean, Bijan has been no joke the last couple weeks. And I mean, I think the Falcons have a really good shot to win this game against the Saints, which then in turn would be kicking, the Bucs out. But they have to rely, I think, on Pitts and London a little more going into this game. Bijan was the guy last week, but I think you do have to diversify your offense a little bit more to go in and win this last game.
See, I think against the Saints, just go in and feed Bijan 30 times and you'll probably win it.
It worked for them last night.
Tyler Shuck is playing well, so that's exciting for the Saints to see if he can keep going. And yeah, I mean, the Falcons are 3-0 over the last 3 games. The Saints have won their last 4 games. And now, I mean, it's crazy. You'd rather almost watch one of those 2 teams in the playoffs, because the Panthers started 5-4. They're now 3-4 since. The Buccaneers started 6-2. They could have walked into the playoffs so easily. They're 1-7 since being 6-2. So, I mean, at this point, I would rather watch the Falcons than the playoffs.
Sure, I agree.
I wish the Falcons could still make it.
Yeah, I know. that would make that game. I mean, it's already going to be a little fun for Bucks fans and folks that care about that piece. But yeah, it should be a good game. I mean, they're all playing very well right now.
Yeah. Bijan is on pace to be up there in the top 5 most scrimmage yards in a season all time.
Wow.
Again, it will be 17 games. I don't know if Bijan missed the game or not, but
yeah.
So all these little asterisks with the extra game, but still,
he
is having a baller season. If only they would just give him all the goal line carries, because Tyler O'Donnell took so many from him this year. He probably would be offensive player of the year contender if they would just give him the goal line carries.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go into these other games that they don't really necessarily matter all too much in terms of the playoffs, but they all have a playoff team in it, and we'll get another look at them before they go into the postseason. So let's start with your Texans. They're on an 8-game winning streak?
8, baby.
8 straight games.
Ocho. I almost said Cinco. I was like, that was not right.
They faced the Colts this week. It should have been a crazy last game, but the Colts have fallen so much apart that they don't matter. They're eliminated.
Yeah.
So the Texans, technically, I mean, they can still win the AFC South.
Yes.
So they should still be going all out to win.
Yes.
Because they're not going to know. They're probably play at the same time as the Jaguars, I'm guessing. But the Jaguars play the Titans.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. Titans have been playing better, though. And
they really have.
I feel like they're going to go in there and they're going to try to play spoiler.
I sure hope they do.
But
I mean, I wanted it last week against the Colts for the Jaguars.
But the Jaguars are playing so well. I even know they should have lost the Colts. I mean, the Colts were beating them.
Listen.
They're playing. I mean, the Colts were playing well. And then Phillip Rivers just is not it.
This division is so silly because you really have, I mean, at the beginning of the season, halfway through the season, we thought, man, Colts, Jags, and then maybe Texans if they can figure something out. Well, then they've gone on an 8-game win streak, right? So then we're like, hey-oh, Texans, look at them. Colts did the opposite, right? They started really hot. Daniel Jones gets hurt. Their offense has just been struggling. They go out and get Phillip Rivers, 97-year-old Phillip Rivers, and they just can't put together a win. And then you have the Jags, who I think for most of the season, we keep betting against them and saying, no, Jags won't win this one. They won't win it. And they keep winning football games. And the Colts had the chance to upset them last week. And guess who acts like he's a rushing quarterback now? Trevor Lawrence, right? And so, this division. So they're not going to lose the Jags. They're going to win against the Titans at home. But I would love to see them lose and give the Texans that number 1 spot.
Now, if the Jaguars win, as we expect against the Titans, and the Texans win, and the Steelers win, my Steelers, your Texans, will be playing against each other in the wild card round. And next week's episode could be the last episode we ever do together.
It very well
could ruin friendship.
Yeah, it definitely could. I mean, it would be so fun, though, for one of us.
For one of us.
I mean, I'm being realistic. Like, it's kind of good it's not here because then we couldn't go. And it couldn't be here. Man. But it makes me want to fly to Pittsburgh. That's what I know.
Now, I feel really good about the Texans, though, going into the playoffs. Their defense has been amazing. CJ Stroud is able to make a big plays. Like, you wanted to see more from him with how they started last week against the Chargers. 2 big plays to start the game, 2 big touchdowns, and then it just cooled off.
Sure.
Just keep putting your foot in that gas.
I know.
And they need more from the running game.
Yeah. I mean, Woody Marks,
I think they might just have to go to Jahar Jordan. I think he's their best running back.
He's shown that for sure. I don't know that I feel comfortable just being like, here you go, in week 18 and or wild card.
Woody Marks is just not good. And Nick Chubb is too old.
The thing is, Woody Marks can't get a breakout run.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
It's like it almost looks like he's going to have a good run and then he just trips.
And then he just falls.
Yeah.
Right. So that's been really tough. I think the other thing that I really liked about last week is seeing the Texans hit Higgins and Knoll on the passing game. Nycole Collins was kind of MIA after that really big play. I mean, I want them to feel the confidence going into week 18 against the Colts and keep throwing those guys the ball, keep feeding them, keep giving them passes during game time to build that confidence so that when you go in the wild card, people are like, man, are they we got to cover everybody because we know it's not just going to Nycole Collins.
Yeah, it is nice to see Higgins really break.
Oh, yes.
I know.
It's been so great.
I know. They have the weapons. They need They need to just put it all together.
Well, the other thing too is, and CJ has said this, and I understand this to an extent, right? The idea that you don't have to like kill yourself offensively because you know you have your defense behind you. I can appreciate that. I don't think it's the right mindset though, because you have to play assuming that you have to win the game.
Yeah.
And while I appreciate that he's grown as a quarterback year 3 and he's throwing the ball away when he needs to, not just taking the sack or trying to do some crazy shenanigans. Like I've seen a lot of growth, but I want him to feel like he has to take the team on his back. And I need to see that from him now.
So they're kind of reminding me of the 2005 Steelers going into the playoffs. They were the last seed to make it as a wild card team. They had an amazing defense, but everyone was like, Ben Roethlisberger is more of just a game manager at that point. It was his second season in the league.
Right.
The offense wasn't dynamic enough.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't good enough. So people didn't really give him a shot. But then all of a sudden they just came out slinging it all over the place.
Yeah.
And Ben was amazing.
Yeah.
It was so great. And then their defense was still obviously so good.
Sure.
They went and won the Super Bowl.
Love that.
So, as a 6th seed. And I like if the Texans can just figure out their offense and open it up and let CJ Stroud just like fling it and he can like do his thing.
Yeah.
They have a real shot.
Well, and I will say that's why I'm really thankful this week 18 game is in division against the Colts, who aren't just going to lay down, right? And it's not against somebody like the Jets, where you can go in there and be kind of lackadaisical and not really try too hard and still win the game. So I'm really glad it's a bit of a harder, more competitive game.
Yeah. I just went back to make sure that they were the 6th seed in 2005. And they were.
Congrats.
Thanks.
Good job. Pat's really proud of you right now.
Thank you. I do remember I was so young because what was I, like 14 there, 13? And probably 14. And they had to go face Peyton Manning and the Colts in Indianapolis, and everyone was giving them 0 shot. And I told my dad, they're going to win today. They're going to win. And they won.
I'm so
So
proud
I
of you.
still remember that. How
That's
many years later? 20?
Precious.
20 years later. Oof.
Adorable.
All right, let's get into more playoff teams here. We already talked about the Titans and Jaguars. We're both picking the Jaguars to win that game. They're going in hot to the playoffs right now. Their defense and Trevor Lawrence is absolutely killing it. So,
yeah.
Dolphins, Patriots. And we're both going Patriots,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The thing is, with the Patriots, the only thing they have to play for right now is that number 1 seed. And it has to be annoying for them that the Chargers aren't actually trying to win this game.
Right.
Because it seems like the Broncos are going to have a pretty easy game here ahead of them to get that number 1 seed. So the Patriots just need the Broncos to lose and for them to win, and they'd get the bye. But that's a lot to ask for.
Yeah.
The Patriots, though, going into the playoffs, I think they're a year away.
That's a good thought. I mean, I think I like the matchup for them because the Dolphins, they switch out Tua for Quinn Ewers, who his first game was meh. Second game, throwing some touchdowns.
Yeah.
Good for him, right? So again, you get the garbage game out of the way with the Jets last week. You come in and have probably a more competitive game this week. I think that'll work for them. I think especially because they have to work on some weak spots that they have going into the playoffs.
I mean, the biggest worry is just like the competition that they've had.
Yeah.
They faced 3 teams this year that currently have a winning record. That's
Yeah.
the fewest in the NFL. They lost against the Steelers in week 3. That was one of the teams. They beat the Bills by 3 points in week 5, and then they lost the Bills by 4 points in week 15. So 1-2 in games against winning teams this year, 12-1 in all the other games. But they really have just had one of the easiest schedules ever. It was insane. So they're going to have to prove themselves. I mean, they are a good overall team, I think, but can they do it against these tough teams? We don't know.
Yeah.
And let's say the Patriots and as a 2 seed, the Bills and as the 7 seed, where they're currently sitting.
Yeah.
Or I don't know if the Chargers are sitting there with the Bills, but either way, let's say it's the Bills versus the Patriots. You really feel good about the Patriots winning that wild card round?
No, I don't.
I don't even feel good about it if it was the Chargers. I don't feel good about it against any of those teams.
I don't know. I would give them a shot against the Chargers.
Well, I'd give them a shot in any of the games, but
but I don't. Yeah, the Bills one is a toss up. They split the season, right? So yeah, I don't know. I think you're right in that we don't know enough about the team yet to have a definitive, they are this, they are that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is interesting. The Chargers might actually want to lose. Maybe that's why they're sitting guys, because I actually would rather be the 7th seed in the AFC this year than the 6th seed. If it's going to be if it's going to be Jacksonville at 3, right? Let's say the Patriots win, they're at 2. Right now, it'd be Bills going to the Patriots and then the Chargers going to the Jaguars. But if those two flip, the Jaguars lose this week, the Bills win. The Bills have to go play the Jaguars. What a fun game that would be. And the Chargers would go play the Patriots. I would much rather go play the Patriots than the Jaguars.
Agreed.
I never thought I'd be saying that right now. But
yeah. Well, especially if you're the Chargers and you got destroyed by the Jags a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's fair.
Let's talk about that Chargers-Broncos game. Well, we're both picking the Patriots. I think we said that against the Dolphins. Talk about the Chargers-Broncos game. We're both picking the Broncos. Big reason for that, I mean, obviously, is that the Chargers are sitting their starters,
right?
And the Broncos will have theirs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that doesn't mean that there's never been backups that have beaten starters before, but the Broncos keep figuring out ways to win. Their only loss since week 3 was against the Jaguars in week 16.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're going to lose against the Chargers and Trey Lance back there. And probably you would guess Keenan Allen would be sitting, probably Ladd McConkey, even Quentin Johnston. Like, who knows who's going to be sitting?
Sure.
Yeah, all those guys. So I can't picture the Chargers winning. So that means the Broncos would have the number 1 overall seed. And listen, I think they're a team that would get the number 1 overall seed and then lose in the divisional round. And I'm fine with them having the number 1 overall seed. I don't want to watch you in the wild card round.
That's
just
fair.
A boring team to me. I don't know what it is. I just don't care about them whatsoever.
Yeah.
I don't need to watch you in wild card weekend. You can come, you'll play whoever you play in the divisional round. And I think they could be beat by a lot of those teams. Like I think the Chargers at full strength can beat them. I think the Texans could beat them. I think the Bills could beat them.
Yeah.
And those are the wild card teams that they could face.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think for them, they're just going to go get this number 1 seed. Good for you. I almost think too, like as somebody playing, like, I know having rest is an advantage, but also I feel like it gets you off your rhythm. Like you're used to like practice, day off, practice, game, right?
Yeah.
So I do feel that sometimes number 1 seeds, it's also a disadvantage. And that could very well be the case too for the Broncos. So,
and I really think it is when they can rest when you get the number. This year we won't have that because everyone's fighting for the number 1 seed still,
right?
Where they have to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you have 2 weeks rest, we often see like they get rusty, real fast,
right?
But so this game should have been amazing, also. But the Chargers won 13 games this year somehow already, and they locked it up. Mm-hmm. They locked up that division, and the Chiefs are just completely out of it. So,
which you did call.
I called the Chargers, but I called the Chiefs not winning it. But
true.
The Chargers.
Well, my bad. I didn't mean to call you out on your
okay.
being wrong. That's my bad.
I was right on half of it that the Chiefs would not win the division. Yeah, and that's the first time I said that. I don't want to it's not like I've been saying it each year and kept being wrong.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, you're right.
You don't know.
Well, I assume.
Okay.
Like you're not dumb most of the time.
Lions versus the Bears. Again, it should have been a great game, but the Lions have lost 3 straight games. So Lions have been eliminated from the playoffs. And I know if you look at the numbers, you can compare the numbers with Dan Campbell calling plays and whatever. And yes, they've technically scored more points with him and had more total yards. This team has been weird ever since he took over.
They don't look right.
I don't care what happens. And the defense has been atrocious and something's just not right since Dan Campbell has taken over. Maybe he can't do the other aspects of his job as well since he's play calling, but he should have never taken over that. They were doing just fine before that. All of a sudden, because you lose to the Vikings by 3 points, which by the way, the Vikings have been an amazing defense over the second half of the year. So maybe that wasn't on the original OC because they still scored 24 points in that game. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think Dan Campbell was stupid taking over. I think that's kind of what ruined the season. But anyways, we're here to talk about the Bears because they're in the playoffs. Now, you're taking the Lions to win this game, though.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Bears, but.
Right. That's fair. I mean, I just think like the Lions have some soul searching to do, obviously, as you mentioned. They did play already in week 2, which a lot has changed from week 2. I don't even remember week 2 or what I was doing with my own life in week 2. They beat the Bears 52-21. So they destroyed them, right? But as you mentioned, a lot has changed. The offensive playing has changed. Like a lot has changed. Caleb Williams found his rhythm. He and Ben Johnson are working really, really well together. And they've been able to win a lot of games. I think the kicker here and why I have to pick the Lions is that they're coming in with nothing to lose. And the implications are way heavier for the Bears, way more pressure. I don't know if Caleb Williams is really set to take the team on his back, like I mentioned earlier. So I like Jared Goff to come out. I mean, he's looked weird, like we said, the last few weeks. I like him come out, finish the season with a Jared Goff game, and go home.
I would love to know the Bears' mindset going into this game,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they can either be the 2 or 3 seed. Those are the 2 seeds possible left for them right now. But if they finish as a 2 seed, if they win this week, that's what will happen. Or if the Eagles lose, they have to face the Packers in round 1. Packers have often, I mean, I know they just beat them a couple weeks ago, but the Packers have, they've been the little brother to the Packers for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
That seems scary. But I guess the other option would be the Rams or possible 49ers.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'd want to play the Packers out of all those.
Well, yeah.
for sure.
But especially if you're any other team, I would definitely prefer the Packers. But as the Bears being a divisional rival, I think that's a tough one. Because they're so familiar with each other.
True.
And then if you're the Eagles, would you rather play the Packers or the Rams? Probably the Packers.
Yeah. I think anybody would want to play the Packers. I would.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for getting on board that the Packers stink.
You're welcome.
But yeah, I'm going with the Bears. They've only lost 1 game at home this year, and it was the 3-point loss to the Vikings in week 1 when they were up big time going into the second half and then, let that fall down. So
Yeah.
I think they win. I think the Lions, they don't really have anything to play for. They don't really care.
But I think they will care.
Dan Campbell
It's
will
the
get
pride.
them. I know. But Jared Goff
Also,
in the
the
cold
Lions-
in Chicago.
Yeah, but the
Good luck.
Lions, the Lions defense though, I think they're much scarier than whoever they played last week. Like
Whoever the Bears
the
played last week.
49ers. Sorry. It just clicked in my mind. I was like, whoops.
I mean, yeah, anyone's better than the 49ers.
Yeah, so I think they're going to give Caleb Williams a run for his little money. They're not going to score 500 points like they did last week, and they're going to have to show that their offense is better.
Yeah, but the issue is Jared Goff outside of his dome typically is bad.
I know.
And then you put him in cold weather. And I'm sure, I have not looked up the weather in Chicago, but it's going to be January
Cold.
in Chicago. It's going to be cold and windy.
Yeah.
And probably snowy. So yeah, Jared Goff
Lucky.
is not going to do anything. Lucky. Vikings, Packers. This game really doesn't matter whatsoever. The
Mhm.
Packers are locked into the number 7 seed.
Mhm.
The Vikings are out of the playoffs. We're both taking the Vikings. It seems like I don't know why the Packers would play their guys unless, especially like Jordan Love is coming off a concussion. He
Yeah.
missed week 17. If he gets another concussion, you're out for many weeks and you
Mhm.
don't have him for the playoffs.
Mhm.
Again, I think Malik Willis is better, but the team does not.
Right.
So I think they sit everybody. And that's where, I mean, the Vikings have been fantastic.
Yeah.
They won with Max Brosmer last week because their defense
Crazy.
has been so good.
It really has. And at the beginning of the year, I feel like we had a glimpse of that. And then it just fell apart for 5-7 weeks. And
Yeah.
then it was like, oh, wait, they are actually good.
Yeah,
Agreed.
so the Vikings are rolling. JJ McCarthy could be back. He dealt with a hand injury that missed last week, but he could be back. And his last 3 starts, his numbers are so much better. He has 106 passer rating. They're 3-0 in those games. He's averaging a 66 completion percentage compared to 54 in his first 6 starts of the season. His passing yards per attempt went way up at 8.5. His turnovers have declined greatly. So he's coming along.
Yeah. Playing much better.
I think they're going to want to see, like, they have to make a big choice this upcoming year. Are they going
Yeah.
to stick with JJ or are they going to bring in a veteran? What are they going to do? So I can see them wanting him to play. If I'm JJ, though, and if my hand's not 100%, I'm not playing because you put on 3 good games before. I'm
Yeah.
not coming back with an injury.
No,
and
no.
Putting a bad
Putting my
performance on.
job at
Yeah.
jeopardy. Yeah.
Yeah,
of
he needs
course.
to go talk to Baker Mayfield before he goes to play second and see how that worked out.
Maybe
For him.
he will.
Cardinals, Rams. We're going different here. I'm going with the Cardinals. You're going with the Rams.
I am.
Again, Rams have nothing really to play for. They could move up to the 5 seed if the 49ers lose. But is it enough for them to risk injury to Stafford, to Puka? They already have Devontae Adams banged up and he hasn't played recently. Blake Corum just dealt with an injury last game, right? And like, is it just worth it to them to say, we're just going to sit our people? Because if you go to 5, then yeah, it is really nice because you get to play the Panthers or the Buccaneers.
Right.
And if you're at 6, you have to play the Bears or the Eagles.
Right.
That is a pretty big jump, especially because the difference in the weather too.
Right. Warm or cold.
So the
You're getting your choice.
Yeah, well, Sean McVay has come out and said he doesn't know yet about the starters.
Yeah.
But now that I look at this, McVay normally rests, though. I think he's going to worry more about the health than he is about the matchup.
Well, do you think, though, that he could come out, let them play, see what happens the first quarter and a half?
Oh, you know what? Also, they're going to know beforehand, which is kind of BS.
Oh, you're right, because of the timing of the game.
They're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to let a team have an advantage. So the Rams, if the 49ers win, then the Rams know instantly we can rest everybody.
Oh, yeah.
It's really kind of crap. So the only way that they would even think about playing their starters is if the Seahawks win.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Oof, this shouldn't count as against either of us, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's tricky. I think the reason I went Rams, just not taking in
well, if the Rams play their starters, you're going to win this game so easily.
Well, sure, but the Rams lost to the Seahawks week 16 by 1 point. That one might have went to overtime. Week 17 to the Falcons by 3 points. They need a win going into the playoffs to feel good about themselves. And that's a reason I do believe they could play the starters, at least, again, for a quarter or so, to really come out and say, we are who we are. We are who everybody thought we were all year long. Matthew Stafford, throw the ball and don't get it intercepted. And then let's go,
At the very least, they should keep their defenders out there if they don't want to play Stafford, because their defense has been allowing too many points. I mean, in their loss against the Panthers, they allowed 31 points. Now, I think Stafford may have thrown a pick six in that, but against Seattle, they allowed 38 points. Against Falcons, 27 points. Did he throw a pick six last night? He did.
Yeah.
Man, Stafford has been throwing pick sixes like crazy. If Stafford plays and starters play,
he threw 3.
I'm going to lose this, and I'm only going to be up 1.
He threw 3.
I'm betting on my 49ers winning.
Yes.
And that the Rams say literally there's nothing to play for, and they rest their starters.
Yeah.
And still,
probably
the
right.
Rams backups could beat the Cardinals.
They could still be right.
I mean, it's not like the Cardinals. The Cardinals have been doing absolutely nothing this year. All right. Last team to talk about here going into the playoffs. We got the Bills against the Jets. The Bills, again, they can go from 6 to 7, but I don't know if they're going to care that much. And also the Chargers are sitting their people. So they're expecting the Chargers to lose. And then maybe they really want to win, because then they can move up to 6 instead of being 7th. But also at the same time, even if the Bills sit everybody, I still think they beat the Jets. Mitch Trubisky is better than Brady Cook. And Ray Davis is, I mean, I guess Brees Hall's fine, but I mean, their backups are the same thing as the Jets starting wide receivers and tight ends.
Right. No, I think this is there is no reason the Bills should lose this game, no matter who's playing.
Yeah. I think Josh Allen plays his one play to keep his streak alive. And then, because he's never missed a game in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sit him as they should, because he's banged up too.
Right.
Josh Allen's been banged up, and it's been affecting him hard. So let him sit, let him get some rest, and we can win without him.
Mm-hmm.
That is it for the playoffs. We'll give you the winners for the other 4 games that have. Oh, we didn't talk about the Commanders Eagles. Shoot. Well, we're both picking the Eagles.
I have it on my next list. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I was supposed to put all the playoff games.
Oh,
in there.
sure.
Commanders Eagles. I don't think anyone feels great about the Eagles going into the playoffs. However, them going into Buffalo and that defense shutting down Josh Allen and the Bills, you have to be worried about the defense if you're going to play Philadelphia.
Sure.
The offense is so inconsistent.
Yes.
It's so up and down.
Well, and Saquon can't get a yard to save his
I
life,
know.
which is devastating, really, to watch. But yeah, I agree with you. I just think for this, hilariously for this game, if the Eagles sit all their starters, the Commanders have a real shot to win it, just because they've been playing with non-starters for 5 weeks now. So.
Yeah. The Eagles are going to be one of those teams where it's just there's such a wild card going into the playoffs. They could be a really good team. They could be. They just won the Super Bowl.
Well, the funny thing is they're 11-5.
Yeah.
They're right there with most teams in the league this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's just like you said, which offense is going to show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if for whatever reason, when AJ Brown has a good game, they lose. So
God.
I don't know what's up with that either.
Yeah.
Bad
juju.
The picks for the other games: Browns, Bengals, we're both going Bengals. Cowboys, Giants, both going Cowboys. Chiefs, Raiders, we're both going Chiefs. So we've only picked 3 different games this week, and you need to make up 2.
4.
Okay, 4 different games.
4 different games.
2.
So
good luck to you. I'm
Thank
pretty sure you
you.
got the Rams in the bag.
Well, that's 1. I just need 2 more.
Okay. We still have a fun little segment to do. We're going to do, for our 2-minute warning, who's deserving of the MVP? We know it always goes to quarterbacks, right? And Matthew Stafford was the leader for a while. And then with his games lately and all the turnovers, it's not gone to Drake May as the lead front runner. But is it really him? Like, can we think of anyone else outside of quarterbacks? There's other guys who are fantastic. So we're going to give you our guy each who we think is most deserving of MVP that's not a quarterback.
2-minute warning.
All right, let me go through this list of MVP odds. Drake May is the clear front runner on FanDuel at minus 340. Then Matthew Stafford at plus 280. And then everyone else is at insane odds where they're just like not even given a shot. Like Trevor Lawrence is third at plus 22,500.
Should we go put in a $1 bet for that?
No, because that means it's never going to happen.
Well,
even though
never say never.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence has been balling out. But and then it's all, I mean, after this is Josh Allen, Caleb Williams, Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, CJ Stroud, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert. There's only 2 guys on this list at 50,000 plus that are not quarterbacks. And they happen to be, I think, our 2 picks.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we did not look at that before, but give me who you think should win.
Okay.
MVP.
I will say I started out by just listing a few guys that I think are good. Don't necessarily aren't my picks for MVP, but I did list them: Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, Jamar Gibbs, JSN. But my pick has to be Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he was the top receiver and the top rusher basically on this team for a bunch of weeks. Okay. The fact that this team is not only playing for the play, like in the playoffs, right? But they're playing for the conference lead is bananas with the amount that he was the rock of this franchise for this season. I mean, the amount of injuries that they have dealt with, the defense just not being good because Fred Warner and Nick Bosa are out. Like, it was decent, don't get me wrong. But like the amount that this man held the team together, and I would assume off the field as well. I don't know, obviously. But I mean, this guy, he led in most fantasy leagues. He led for points this season. So lucky you if you drafted him this year and not last year like me. Rushing yards, 1179. Okay. That's while having 890 receiving yards. Like, that would be decent for a wide receiver too, to have like 890. Okay, decent. But if this man was just a receiver, he would have exceeded that immensely, right? This guy put the 49ers on his back and carried them to the position they are now. And now he has guys like Brock Purdy balling out, George Kittle, great guy to have on your team right now. Like, he has all these guys coming back and saying, thanks so much, CMC, for carrying us here. So I think for sure, if it doesn't go to a quarterback, it should definitely go to CMC.
And we all know it's going to a quarterback, right? But this is what we're saying should happen.
Right.
If you like, because there's no reason for it to be pushed to a quarterback.
Right.
But I'm with you. CMC was at the top of my list here. The 49ers were a disaster without him last year, 6-11.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden this year, even with all the injuries, like, he leads the league in touches at 399, 46 more scrimmage touches than any other player this year. He has 17 touchdowns. He has 10 games with over 100 yards and a touchdown. That's the most in the NFL. And he leads the 49ers in receptions and receiving yards. Like, he's the only running back to lead his team in receiving yards this year.
Yeah.
And obviously also rushing yards.
Yeah.
He's balling out. But my pick will be Jackson Smith and Jigba, because he is the entire offense for the Seahawks. I mean, their run game is fine, right, with Charbonnet and Walker. But Sam Darnold, everything he's doing is going to JSN. Jackson Smith-Njigba has been made up 44.2% of the Seahawks receiving yards this year. That is 7% higher than any other player. Puka Nacua is second at, let me see if I have at 36%. And again, Smith-Njigba was at 44%.
Yeah.
It's the highest single season receiving yard share since Brandon Marshall back in 2012 for the Bears. Like, everything. And he's doing this while every team knows it's only him.
Yes.
You just have to stop him, and teams can't do it.
No.
They can't do
all
it
year long.
So I think it's I don't know where the Seahawks would be without him.
Not where they are.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So I agree with you. I think CMC would be first choice, but I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is up there. And maybe we'll see who's actually deserving of this MVP after this week. Which one of these players steps up the most in the biggest game of the year?
There you go.
Yeah.
I love it.
And your other list, like I can't choose someone that didn't get into the playoffs, because that means
Sure.
you weren't very valuable if your team didn't.
Well, I think you're most valuable in the sense that your team even was of note at all.
Yeah.
Like we didn't pick anybody on the Jets. We didn't pick anybody on the Saints, right? Like we picked people, or I said people rather, that like are these teams that like had they had one other thing or two other things happen,
If the Falcons
they would
made
be in
the playoffs,
contention.
like
Exactly.
Bijan would have been up there for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
Well, that is it for today's episode. We will get a wild ride in week 18. We'll let you know who won or lost our bet. It will be her running the 10K with the Aaron Rodgers jersey. Now, if we split and we tie, we're going to just do the 5K and we both have to buy the jerseys and run it.
and run it together.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But everyone enjoy your slate of games. Enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to The Analyst in the Armchair. Don't forget to subscribe, follow us on socials, leave us a review, and comment to let us know what you'd like to hear next time.